Hey Internet, my name's Mark. I normally do videos about the stoneworking industry. I've never done a car video. I'm not a car guy per se. I do own a Ford Bronco. I got a 2022 Ford Bronco Badlands with 35s, a twin turbo, big ass V6 gas burning engine. My Tesla story goes back to, it was like 4 years ago. I was laying on the couch, bored, surfing YouTube, and I stumbled across a live stream of the Tesla Cybertruck thing. I was not into Teslas. I'd only driven one once back in 2010. My friend had a Model S, took it for a spin down the highway back in the early Tesla days. Never driven a Tesla since. I've owned Taurus SHOs. I've owned really nice cars. I got a nice Bronco. The Cybertruck appealed to me. I love the idea of, the stainless steel exterior, all the technology, the insane acceleration. It just made sense to me. It was interesting. So that night, I put a Cybertruck on reservation, like almost a little over 4 years ago. From an investment standpoint, holding Tesla stock is a wild-ass roller coaster ride, not something I recommend for the faint of heart. I hold some shares now, but not. I got in just last week when it was down to like 167 or 168, something like that. And I bought a small block. But anyway, that's not what this is about either. 2 weeks ago, I went down to the Tesla dealership in Tiger to check out, maybe it's 4 weeks ago now. Went down to the Tiger dealership to check out the actual Cybertruck. Climbed in it, got around it. I was like, man, wow, I love it. I want it. And while I was in their showroom, I went and sat in a Model X. And guys, I can't explain it to you. It feels like I'm sitting in a spaceship. The windshield goes back up over your head. You can see it's got a very clean, modern interior. I fell in love with it. I'd never driven one. And the kid that worked there, it's not like a car dealership. You don't go to Tesla to buy cars. It's really not how that works. It's kind of weird. I said, hey man, what does this thing actually cost? Because I know they used to be like over 100 grand, and there was no way I'm buying a $100,000 car. There's no way. And this particular model you're sitting in is a dual motor. It's almost 700 horsepower. It's got the all-wheel drive, long range. It goes 320 miles on a charge. Right now I've got it on 300. It's charged at 300. We're going to make a drive to Spokane, so it's going to be a little bit of a road trip today. But anyway, long story short, I asked the guy, what's the price of the car? He goes, well, they lowered the price of the gray with the black interior, which is the color I would have bought anyway. And they lowered it to $79.99 so that it would qualify for the $7,500 tax credit thing. So that gets it down to $72, whatever. I called my accountant up. I said, hey, can I buy this vehicle through my company? What qualify for Section 179? For those of you that don't know what Section 179 is, for business owners, if you own a business and there's certain criteria, it's got to be, I don't know what all the criteria is. I asked my accountant, but apparently the Model X qualifies because it's over 6,000 pounds or something like that. But anyway, so that gets the effective cost with depreciation down to high 50s, low 60s, depending how long I hold it and some other things. And that was just too compelling of an offer. So this is like kind of the funny part. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I want to buy one. And the guy goes, well, you got to buy it on your phone. I go, what do you mean I got to buy it on my phone? He says, download the Tesla app. And literally, man, on the app, you do this thing, and the Tesla app handshakes with your bank, and the money came out of my account. He hands me a credit card. We walk out. The car's not really clean, but that was my fault because I wanted to take delivery of it the same day. Guy shows me, here's how you use the card, which I don't ever use. I use my phone as a key. There's no start button. You get in, and it just says tap to activate drive. You put your foot on the brake. The cameras look around. It kind of knows where to go, and then you just start accelerating. It's pretty crazy. Simple to drive. Now, a lot of people are intimidated by these screens. Like, there's a lot going on here. You can come on top, like pedals and steering. Like right now, I'm driving in chill and comfort. You can put this car into sport and standard, sport and insane acceleration. It literally is insane. You got almost 700 horsepower in this thing. It goes 0 to 60 and I don't even know, 3.2, 3.3, whatever it is. It's ludicrously fast. I don't really care about that. As you can see, I drive it like an old man. But the crazy thing is, even in the old man mode, when you're going 60 and you look ahead down the road 200 meters and you mash the accelerator, it's like teleporting. There's no turbo lag. There's no rumbling. There's no nothing. The car just goes from here. It's like you're teleporting in a car. It's the most craziest thing. And the acceleration, the throttle control, the fact that you got all this weight under your feet, the batteries, right? That battery pack weighs a lot. I don't know, 4,000 pounds, whatever it weighs. It's below your feet, which brings the center of the car gravity, really center of gravity of the car down low. And that has huge implications for turning. Like now when I drive my Bronco and I go around a corner, I feel like I'm in a yacht on the ocean. I mean, the body roll and everything, I never even noticed it. of course, it's a Bronco. You're in 35s, you're up off the ground, it's frame on body. I mean, you know, it's going to roll. This thing's like a go-kart. It's like a 6,000-pound go-kart. It's unreal. But like coming back in here, this thing has air suspension. I can make the ride height high, low, very low, like a low rider. I don't even know what all this does. I just have it set to comfort, right, for old man driving. But you can change the ride height. Charging, super simple. I basically took it to 95% because I'm going to Spokane, so round it to 300. I drive an autopilot all the time. I drive it in chill mode. It's amazing. Now, in the lead up to this, one of the reasons I bought the Model X and not my Cybertruck, which God knows when I'm going to get it, one thing that I really wanted was full self-driving, and I'm going to say it. Hey, whole Mars catalog, I'm talking to you, dog. Those FSD videos that you made on version 11, maybe there's something special about where you live where that crap actually works. When I got this car, it had version 11 in it, and I was all excited after watching 1,000 whole Mars catalog FSD videos, and I got in this thing, and I fired up version 11, and it worked. It drove me around, but the entire time my palms were sweating, and it just wasn't a great experience. And last week, or the week before last, I got the version 12 update. Guys, it's mind-boggling. The car is literally driving itself. I'm not talking about this janky version 11 where it does a pretty good job, but then terrifies you once in a while. You got to take over and like, what the hell are you doing? That's all over with. I mean, I'll intervene, but you can see what's going to happen. The car, look, it's like a human. If it would confuse a human, it'll probably confuse the car, right? It's trained on people driving. I really don't know how all these end-to-end neural networks work, but I can tell you they work. And the crazy part is if you're driving this, the experience that I'm having, you've got to understand that this is the worst this software's ever going to get. And the change from the 12 that I got 2 weeks ago to the 12 version that I downloaded 4 days ago, the change is already remarkable. I'll show you how it works. Check it out. So we're going to go to Spokane, right? And that's another thing. Everybody talks about, oh, what about range anxiety? Why'd you buy an EV? You know, you got to charge them all the time. Guys, it's the opposite. It's the actual opposite. You charge it all the time. You drive home, you got this thing that's, you know, I got a little cable with a little holder, and I take it out, and I walk up to the car, and as I'm approaching the car, it senses me. The little charging port opens up, and you stick the thing in, and you go in your house. It takes 3 seconds. I mean, it's as normal as closing the door and locking your car. I spend a lot less time charging the car than I ever spent looking for the keys to my Bronco. And that's the other thing. There's no keys. Your phone's the key. It knows who you are. You walk up, the door opens. It's the craziest thing. You get in, check this out. This is just a wild, weird Model X thing. But like when the doors open, you get in, you just step on the gas or the brake, and the door closes for you. Why, I don't know, but it's kind of cool. But anyway, so let's show you how this works. So I'm going to go into the nav, and we're going to go to Spokane today. And that's the thing, right? Like, I leave the house every day with 270 miles of range. Because when for normal run-around driving, you only charge 80% so that your batteries last a bajillion miles. But anyway, so we're going to go to Spokane. It's 274 miles away. We have 300 miles of range. It's probably going to call for a supercharging stop. And what it's going to do, it's interesting. One of the things I learned about EVs since I bought this thing, and I learned all this in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, and I listen to all this nonsense from people. Oh, EVs suck, EVs this, range anxiety, all this nonsense, man. None of you, all you people talking this shit, have never driven one of these cars. You literally don't know. You're talking out of your ass. And you're so wrong, you should start questioning yourself, what else am I wrong about, right? But anyway, so let's plan a trip to Spokane. So I'm going to hit in Spokane, and you're going to see, oh, look, it's going to call for a supercharging stop in Boardman.
Now turn right onto the northeast.
Right, so
4th
when we
Avenue.
get there, we'll be at 32%. Now, here's the thing why not stop halfway? Why not stop here? Why not stop there? Why stop at the very end of the trip? Well, the reason it stops at the very end of the trip is because when an EV gets down to like 10, 15%, to like 50%, that range, 15 to 50, it charges insanely fast. I mean, I don't know all the technical mumbo kilowatt hours per whatever the hell, but if you hit a supercharger, you're usually there for 8 or 9, maybe 10 minutes. I have a little bit of holdings in Tesla, not a ton, just because it makes me sweaty. It's kind of like the FSD. It's a cool idea. This is interesting. So it sees the cars coming. It's going to creep, and it's going to roll. Second car is going by. It's making the turn. And notice FSD realizes what's going on and commits the turn and kind of gets going. Cool, like totally, like just exactly what a human would do. You can see it driving now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to speed up a little bit. It thinks it's 25, which it is, but I'm going to tell it to go 27, 28, just because that's the speed everyone drives in town. And we're on our way to Spokane, guys, and it wouldn't surprise me if I don't have to intervene for the rest of the way because it's going on known roads on known routes. You know, the funny thing about FSD is when it's working great, it's unremarkable. It's just normal. And what's really strange to me is everybody's not freaking out about this. Like, in my mind, I don't know if you guys with this camera can actually see what's going on here, but it's literally looking down the road and it's driving. It's amazing. Here we go. Now it's going to have me wiggle the wheel real quick just to make sure I'm not sleeping or playing video games or staring at my phone or making YouTube videos. What else can I tell you that's interesting? Some of the surprises about having an EV. A lot of guys, I hear a lot of talk about range anxiety. If you drive less than 250 miles a day, if you live in a house and you can charge your car at home, it's the opposite of range anxiety. Not going to gas stations is awesome. And here's the thing, right? Like I hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's so much less expensive than driving gasoline cars. Well, in fact, it is. Like if you go to Supercharge, I think it's like 28 cents a kilowatt hour, which here in Washington, Oregon, that's like half the price of gas. Like maybe even a bit less than half, like probably 40% the price of gas. But if you charge at home and you live in the Northwest like we do, where I live, it's 8 cents a kilowatt hour. What the hell does that actually mean in English? Well, I sat down and calculated it out. I pay 8 cents a kilowatt hour, and to go 250 miles, I use about 80 kilowatts. I think that's right. Which means I'm paying about $6.80 for 250 miles of range. 700 horsepower. With a car that drives itself down the road. Which has an interior that's stunning and gorgeous and comfortable and quiet. Feels like I'm in a spaceship. It's just driving us to Spokane right now. Like it's normal. And we're all watching this video like it's normal. This video is going to be long. I don't even care. Nobody watches my videos anyway. What, maybe 3 people? I'm not making it for the world. I'm making it, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making a video. I'm working driving to Spokane for the next 6 hours. And can't be any more or less than boring than all the other FSD videos I've seen. So that's a funny thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. So when I got back into Tesla stock was when they announced the Cybertruck, like they're actually going to build it, right? You know, the launch, the Cybertruck actual launch, I guess. I don't know, launch. The thing they did about 6 months ago when they announced they were going to actually start building them. I bought a bunch of Tesla stock again, got stressed out, bought, sold. And then I'll tell you what's interesting. And I'm not an AI guy. I don't pretend to be. I'm not a YouTuber that pretends to know something about AI that never went to college. That's not me. I went to college, but I didn't study AI. I studied boring shit. They didn't have AI back in the day when I went to college. That wasn't a topic. Or maybe it was, but I never heard of it. But anyway, what's the point? I think what's interesting as a Tesla stockholder, you see this robot they're building, right? And everybody's freaking out because they did the one video where the robot. I can tell you right now, the difference between 11 and 12, it's uncanny. This thing's got some humanistic, human-like attributes. And it's interesting, and I think that what makes this work, you know, like video images coming in and the processor, the language model, or whatever, I guess it's a large video model, LVM, whatever. They feed it this video, and it just copies people training. And the only thing it does that's not natural is what it's doing right now, is this weird stoplight thing. Like it wants to turn right on red, and it knows that it can, and you see it want to do it, and then there's something telling it not to turn right on red. You can actually, I don't know if you guys caught that, but it wants to go right on red, because that's what we all do, but I don't think it's allowed to go right on red. But if you give it a little bit of acceleration push, it'll do the right on red. It's interesting, right? So now we're bombing down some random road at 40 miles an hour on our way to Spokane. You can see the lady walking down the side of the road there. I don't know. I can see why all these videos are so damn boring. What do? You know, you this nagging thing is annoying as fuck, though. I'll tell you that. It's annoying. But yeah, whatever. It's these idiots that climb in the back of the car while the car is driving itself down the road that causes these kind of problems. So thanks, assholes. That's great. Yeah, so here we are, just motoring down the old route to Spokane.